Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, Winston. I'm sorry, I was checking my team, UCF. They're ranked, man. Next game's a big game for us. We play Tulane. Another big ranked, good, important game for us. They're ranked 19. We're 25. No, we're 20. We're 22 now. So I got to start watching college football again. Green Day today? Oh, who knows, Marcelo? I wish I could tell you, man. I wish I could. Go Knights. All right. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Welcome back. New week, new opportunities. Feeling good this morning. Yeah, daylight saving sort of sucks. I don't really like it. But easier to get up, it seems, in the morning. But it gets darker real early. I mean, it's going to be dark here around 6 o'clock, 6:30, around there. It gets dark. Morning. Yeah, Apple showing a lot of weakness today, huh? I saw that. Some strong, some weak, right? You got Boeing's been very strong. Meta had an upgrade this morning. Costco's weak today. Downgrade on cost. So some interesting things to watch out for. Some interesting sort of moves this morning. So we'll definitely prepare the best we can today. So once again, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the stream. Thanks for being here again. Thanks for tuning in. Take a second and just wait for some more people to jump in. But so today, obviously, a little bit up in the pre-market, but big thing to watch out for today, guys, is this week's CPI. This is going to be, every week it seems we got some new news to be watching out for. And this is definitely the one to watch out for this week. CPI is on Thursday, and that is definitely going to be market moving. We've seen CPI be market moving in the past, and there's no reason why it wouldn't be market moving again. So CPI this week, big economic news on Thursday. We'll see how the market trades into that. Yeah, Powerball, $1.9 billion. I know, Ben. I might have to play it. I didn't play it the last few weeks, but $1.9 billion, I mean, geez. It might be worth putting buying a few tickets. $1.9 billion. I think it's just wild that that's even a thing, in my opinion. It's wild to me that the Powerball is even a thing. But all right, let's do it. Let's jump into it. So today, November 7th. It is Monday, November 7th. Futures economic earnings calendar. So let me go ahead and pull up the earnings calendar here, so we can get a look. So you guys can see today is Monday. Consumer credit at 3 p.m. Nothing crazy today on the economic. Consumer credit. Cleveland Fed president. Nothing crazy. Some Fed president speaking. You won't forget about me, Chris. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Tuesday, tomorrow. I think, is this the midterms? I'm so disconnected from politics, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I pay attention to it in regards to the market, but I really don't get into it much. But yeah, tomorrow, midterm elections. We'll see if there's any market move off that tomorrow. I don't know how the market reacts to that. We'll see. But Wednesday, Fed presidents, nothing crazy again. And then really Thursday is the only day that we have anything major here, right? Look at Thursday, right? Look at consumer price index, core CPI, right? 12-month change and then the monthly change. So year over year, pretty much 8:30, all in the pre-market. So Thursday will be pretty major. This is definitely what we're going to have to watch, right? So 8:30 Thursday morning, that's the big one. Really, besides that, I mean, you got some consumer sentiment on Friday, but this is the big event right here. Before that, we really don't have much, right? Nothing on the economic calendar. You have some Fed president speaking, yeah. I don't expect it to be too crazy on the Fed presidents, but I think it's going to be all about this, right? All about Thursday, core CPI. This is obviously what we need to be watching out for. So we'll sort of dig deeper into that as the week sort of gets as we get deeper into the week. But right now, just make sure you are aware of that, right? Next, I want to bring up the earnings calendar just to get you guys aware of what earnings are this week. So today, this pre-market, we had PLTR, right? Palantir. I don't know. I didn't even look at it. What is Palantir doing? Palantir is... I might as well just pull it up. And it's basically flat. Nothing going on there. After hours today, Lyft. That could be something to watch with Uber Lyft, Activision. Tomorrow, pre-market Norwegian Cruise Lines could be moving for RCL, CCL. Workhorse, remember that one? Some of these stocks, man, I remember they were like the talk of the town. Workhorse, Palantir, all these just sort of ridiculous names. Party City, nothing crazy here. Planet Fitness. Tomorrow after close, some better ones here. Disney should be interesting for the entire streaming sector. So this could sort of affect Roku, could affect Netflix. So we'll get an idea of what Disney's been up to tomorrow. Oxy, important for the energy sector. AMC, I'm sure a lot of people are interested in this one, even though you shouldn't be. Upstart, or I like to call it Upshart. Plug Power, Lucid, Novavax, Affirm. So let's see what happens there. Before open Wednesday, Trade Desk, Roblox, DR Horton, that's Home Building, Fiverr, Rivian, Dutch Bros, Wynn Resorts, Beyond Meat, Unity Software, Celsius. This is my favorite drink ever. Hopefully Celsius goes up. Thursday, Neo, Yeti, AstraZeneca, Six Flags, Ralph Lauren, WeWork. Nothing crazy here. Figs, nothing crazy again. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty light week for the economic or the earnings side. Disney's probably the biggest one here. That's probably the biggest, most legitimate earnings that we have here this week is Disney. But we'll get an idea of, what are some of these other ones up for. I like Upshart. All right, so that's that, guys. Nothing crazy. I mean, this entire week's about CPI. That's basically it, right? That's what I'm trying to get across here. Entire week is all about CPI. All right. Netflix, awesome rejections on Friday on Netflix. I mean, one of the cleanest rejections I have seen in some time. We caught it really nicely in the chat. I think some of you guys caught it there. I caught a piece of it, but not as much as I should have. But it's also setting up again this morning, so I want to show you guys this. This could be, once again, another nice rejection on Netflix. Really clean price action to the downside on Friday. I'll show it to you guys. Tesla moved back to its channel low on Friday. We moved all the way back to that 203, 204 level. That's the channel low that we've been seeing. So let's watch out for that. Nvidia, AMD. You guys have seen it. If you've been watching Nvidia and AMD, there has been a strong outperformance on the semiconductor stocks. Nvidia has been holding a 134 level. AMD is back at the 63 rejection point. So AMD and Nvidia are definitely some watches I want to point out today. Strong outperformance on the semiconductors last week. Let's see if that continues. Costco, big downgrade this morning from Wells Fargo. There's some downside coming in the pre-market and a very clean rejection level at 490. Want to show you guys this. Meta, a little bit of an upgrade this morning. A little bit of a break of a downtrending channel. Maybe there's some type of squeeze here, so I'm going to bring it up for you guys to see today on the stream. Meta, Snow, major bear flag breakdown on the weekly chart. I want to show you guys this possible continuation. And Coinbase, potential retest rejection here as well. We'll also throw in some, Apple, Microsoft, some other tech stocks for you guys to see today as well. So hopefully that gives you a good picture of what to look for today. I'm going to go ahead and update the ticker form so you guys can go ahead and put the tickers that you want to look at in there today as well. All right, so here's that. If you want to go ahead and put your tickers in here for us to look at, feel free to do so. And let's go ahead and get started. All right. Once again, thank you guys for being here. Let's do it. All right, guys. So some pretty clear stuff on the Nasdaq so far this morning. Pretty clear rejection point to be watching out for, right? Here's the Nasdaq, right? And you can see this is the 1 hour chart. So here's the levels I'm watching. First one we have to watch is this 11,000. 11,000 psych level, 11,000 major level, right? Everyone knows 11,000 is one of those psych levels that we're going to have to watch. That is a previous support here at 11,000 where we got to push to the upside. Now, you guys can see on Wednesday after hours, let me zoom in here. We know 11,000's there. You guys can see right here. Actually, you know what? Let's go 30 minute. There we go. Perfect. All right. Diego, thank you, man. 1999. Thanks for the donation, Diego. Appreciate you. And thanks for being on the stream. Appreciate that. That will go towards my coffee this week or my Celsius. Thank you so much. Keep me caffeinated, and I'll keep doing the streams. Thanks, Diego. So 11,000, right? Look at what happened on there on that Wednesday, right here. Look, Wednesday, nice 11,000 rejection. We came down, right? Thursday, we sort of chopped, moved down to the channel low. Friday, we pushed back up. Where did we push back up to? 11,000 once again, right? And we rejected it back to the channel low. Now, where are we in the pre-market today, guys? 11,000, right? So we're back at 11,000. Do we get the rejection again, right? Or do we get a break? That's really what we're watching today. 11,000 is the level to watch. It's very clear, right? You can clearly see this. Rejection here, rejection here. We're back at it this morning. We're pushing up in the pre-market. We all know pre-market upside is hard to trust. So let's watch out for that 11,000 level here this morning. If we see weakness come in, look for that downside move, potential rejection off the 11,000 level. If we do see continuation to the downside, we could very well see a move back to the channel low, right? There's nothing stopping this market from rejecting back to the channel low at 10,700. So right now, we're in about a 300-point range between 11,000 and 10,700, right? That's our range right now. 11,000 is the level to break. If I go back to the 30-minute chart and zoom out here, if we get an 11,000 break, right? Let's say we do get over 11,000. Let's say we turn it into support today. I would watch for this 1170. That would be my next move, right? Previous support here, 1170. And then I would look for the Nasdaq, if it does hold 11,000, to push possibly into the 1170 level. If we break 1170, then your next level is back at the pre-FOMC lows, which is 11,200. All right? So those are the levels to watch. 11,000, big rejection point. Watch for that. If you do break that, 1170. If you break that, 11,200. If you slip today off 11,000, you're possibly looking at the move back towards the channel low. I don't really trust any support between 11,000 and 11,700, right? 10,700. This is sort of a chop fest. I wouldn't really trust any support in this range here. So I'm either looking for that continuation back to the channel low, or I'm looking to see if we start to build here and move higher. All right, so those are the levels to watch on the Nasdaq. On the ES, a little bit stronger on the ES, a little bit more interesting here. So here, let's go to the ES. What's our rejection level that's coming in now? It's 3,800, 3,805. It's Friday's highs, right? Right here, you can see Friday's highs, 3,805. That's our level right here, Friday high. Once again, we're rejecting that same point. So 3,805 on the ES, that's big. To the downside, I think you're looking at 3,750. 3,750, and I want to show you something that's interesting today, what happened this pre-market right here, right? This is sort of a key takeaway on the ES futures this morning. So you guys can see this is Wednesday's lows, right? 37.55 right here, 37.55. You can see that little bounce that came up, right? Right here, 37.55, little bounce, right? We broke it. We came back into it. And what did we do on Thursday? We turned it into a rejection point, right? So on Thursday, right, we go from support to rejection, right? Support to rejection, right? That is technically weak. Now, what you can see this morning, which is a very key takeaway, is we turn that 37.55 back into a support, right? Right there. Look at that. So this 37.55, which is Thursday's highs, Wednesday's lows, Thursday's highs, and now this morning in the pre-market, we turned it back into a support right here. So that's an interesting takeaway. I saw that this morning and thought, let's make sure to watch this. This is 37.55. This is a big level here. Previous rejection point into support in the pre-market this morning in the futures trading. All right. So 37.55, definitely a level to watch today. If you were to reject off the 38.05, maybe you move back to the 37.55 level, right? Maybe you come back down into this 37.55. All right. So here's my levels, right? 38.05, 37.55. if you break 3805, you're coming up to the pre-CPI, right? Pre-FOMC. Pre-FOMC lows was 38.35. This is where we got that crazy upside followed by the big downside. This is all your FOMC move right here. I know that's hard to see. There we go. So big upside, right, as FOMC came out. Then Jerome Powell came on. Boom, straight to the downside. The level that we were at before that all happened was 38.35. So if we get more upside today, maybe there's a push through 38.05. All right, if we turn it into support, maybe there's a push, right, through 38.05, maybe back, turn it into support, and maybe we get something towards 38.35 if there's more upside potential. And if we get through this double top, right here. So double top here. Yeah, 37.55. I saw that, the 20 SMA. Yeah. I took it off this morning just to make it clean. But yeah, you guys can see right there, 37.55, 20 SMA. Right there, that blue line. Good call. Thanks for reminding me. 37.55, 20 SMA on the daily. And then you got the 50 SMA on the daily up at 38.05, right? So you're right in between that range. So this should be interesting. Levels make sense today, right? They make sense. Levels are pretty clear. It's pretty clear to, sort of get the next picture. It's a matter of if you're patient, right? It's a matter of if you're patient here. Patient for the move. You're either looking for the rejection play or you're looking for the little hold and break, the break and retest hold. Who's going to be the patient one, right? Are we going to catch the downside? Are we going to be, are we going to maybe get a double top here, intraday and then the downside? Are we going to get a breakthrough? Or are we going to be impatient and trade in the middle of this? And that's probably where most people lose. So let's see. Do we get 38.05 break or do we get the rejection back to 37.55? Very clean levels, though, I will say on the ES, right? Very clean. Make sure to have these on your charts today. Dow. So the Dow's doing something similar to the ES here. All right, you can see, look at what the Dow has done at 32,250. This is pretty much the exact same thing we just talked about. Previous highs, previous rejection, into support. Right? That's basically what we just talked about on the ES. So previous highs at 32,250, turning into support. You're pushing into Friday's highs. All right, 32.6. 32.6, Friday's highs. That's your big level. Can you get through it? If you can get through it, it looks like I had this 32,750. Let me just go out and make sure I know why this level's here. Okay. This is that's that high from, what's this? This is the high from, this is CPI. Yes, this is the CPI move on September 13th. The high of this is 32,790. 32,790. Let's put that on our charts. 32,790 was the high pre-CPI level that we sort of fell off on. Go to the 30-minute chart. So you guys can see here on the Dow, I would say if you can break Friday's highs right here, that's where we're rejecting, pretty much the same as the ES. Maybe there's a push into that 32,800 area, right? Back from the pre-CPI level. If not, I would say same thing as the ES, right? Push back down into 32,250. So pretty much the identical chart as the ES here today. You got Friday's highs, right? On the Dow, Friday's highs, Friday high here, Friday high here, ES, Friday high here, and Friday high right there. That's your rejection point. Now, where did support come in? Previous Thursday's levels, right? Previous rejection into support. And then on the ES, previous rejection into support. So pretty much the identical move there on the ES and the Dow. Russell sort of holding that retest level. I mean, this is pretty bullish to see that. I'm not going to, if we're just sort of talking technicals, look at what the Russell's doing, right? If we're just talking technicals, that's a pretty nice bullish retest on the Russell, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you're just focused on technicals, that is a previous rejection point into a nice little double bottom support. So that is pretty interesting to see, right? You can see that retest hold. I mean, it's there. It's clear as day. Push, retest, right? Break the rejection point, come back down to the rejection point, turn it into some kind of consolidation, and then start to push off of it. That's the definition of a break and retest. That's a bullish technical setup. we'll see if that continues, right? We'll have to see how market continuation is, which has been sort of hard to get over the last few weeks. But previous double top rejection into a support, this is textbook break and retest, right? If there was ever a chart to sort of display what I look for on the market, it is right here on the Russell. It is a previous rejection point turning into a support, right? That is pretty much textbook break and retest right there on the Russell. So let's see, does the Russell outperform? That could be something to watch out for. Do small caps show some strength today off this break and retest? All right, guys, so that's the futures. Again, I post all these future charts every single morning. In the free Discord chat down below, it says free technicals. There's no talking there. There's no trading there. It's just technical charts. If you want to get the talking, the trading, the collaboration, the community, that's in the where it says trade live with me. Netflix. This was one of the sickest rejections I have seen in quite some time. And man, does it hurt a little bit that I didn't capitalize on it fully. On Friday, we had a push down in the morning to 263, right? Perfect support came in at 263. Now, let me go ahead and let me get this on the 2-minute chart because it looks even cleaner on the 2-minute. If I zoom in here over the last few days, look at this rejection that came in on Friday. We had a previous low here, right? Previous low, 268. Previous low, 268.70, right? Right here, 268.70, previous low again. And we had a previous low in the pre-market at 268.70. Netflix, at open, dropped straight through it. Intraday, it found support at 263, right here. And it bounced up into that 268.70 again. As it came into 268.70, look at this awesome rejection. Right there at 268.70. I was posting this in the chat, and I'll go ahead and I want to show you guys what this looked like before it happened, so you can just get a good idea of what this looks like as it starts to set up. So here's my Twitter. I posted on here after the fact, but here is Netflix. Look at this chart. So you guys can see 268.70, 269 break, retest. It starts to consolidate, right? This is what you're looking for. You're looking for it start to show those wicks, starting to show the rejection, starting to slow down. You can clearly see the trend went from pretty aggressively to the upside to starting to slow down, starting to consolidate, starting to reject, right? That was around 10:43 a.m. on Friday. So you got that, right? You got that 10:43 a.m. Started to get that rejection on Netflix. And then you can see, look at the continuation that sort of followed through after that rejection. So very clean there on Netflix. Nice little put entry there for downside. Very clean stuff. Now, look at what's happening this morning. This could very well be setting up once again. So where did we find support on Friday? 263, right? Look at that support that came in at 263. What is happening in the pre-market today? A 263 rejection, right? So if this 263 is a rejection point today, if we turn Friday's lows, early morning lows here at 263 into a rejection point, I will be all about this downside play, right? Back into 250. I will definitely be watching this today. 263, previous support into a rejection. It's the same thing that happened here in the afternoon on Friday. If I see this same thing set up here today, I will absolutely be looking for that downside. So, need to see Netflix stay under 263. That's the key there. Let's see if it happens. I love that setup. Tesla. So, 4-hour chart on Tesla. You guys remember we were talking about Tesla just sort of in a channel, and it's back to the channel low. So, here's Tesla, back to the channel low, right? 203, 204. Here's your support. Here's your support. And here is your support that came in on Friday. 203, 204, 1, 2, and 3. Right, so you're at your channel low. Now, major thing that I'm watching here today that's already starting to set up, right here, guys. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Love this. Love this setup if it does continue for us. Previous Thursday lows. Boom. 210. Little consolidation there on Friday, right? Little bit of consolidation there on Friday, but ultimately we fell right under it. came back down to the channel low, found support. Perfect, right? Textbook. Push up, right? We push back up. We come back and retest the previous low, right? We break it, we retest it, previous low, retest the previous low, reject it, move back to the downside, right? That's textbook. You know, trading is not always that easy, but if we can get this rejection play to come in, love this, right? Love this rejection play. Previous support, break it, right? Previous support from Thursday lows, break it, retest it, reject it, and play it back to the downside. So absolutely watching this on Tesla today, looking to see if I can grab some 210, 211 rejection plays on Tesla today off Thursday's lows. Love that. Definitely watching it. Nvidia AMD. Relative outperformance on Nvidia for basically the entire week. Really, the only thing I want to point out to you guys is Nvidia holding 134. This is pretty nice to see. So we'll see how long that lasts. You also have earnings coming up on Nvidia to watch out for. But rejection, support all week. Nvidia turned 134 into support. Why is that important? Well, if I go to the 4-hour chart, you guys, if you stick around to the live streams, you know why 134 is important. Because 134 was a previous rejection play, and previous triple bottom support right here, right? 134 support, turned it into rejection, Now what is Nvidia doing? It's turning it back into a support. Nvidia, pretty strong last week, right? It sort of stayed sideways and actually sort of closed higher when the whole market was sort of slipping to the downside for the most part. So nice, strong continuation on Nvidia. 134 is your major level. If you see some more upside continuation, some more outperformance on Nvidia, I would look for this move up to 146. All right. Look for that move up to 146 on Nvidia if you get more continuation on this market. But very nice, very nice move. Nvidia has earnings on next week, the 16th. I'm not really sure if they're going to show the expected move just yet. Yeah, not there yet, but we'll see once we get closer. Watch out for Nvidia earnings. That is on the 16th of November. That's in about 9 days. But keep an eye on this Nvidia. Semiconductor's been relatively strong. AMD. Where are we once again? AMD is once again back at the 63 rejection point. So, do we do it all over again? Right? Do we get to play this all over again? Can we play AMD puts here off 63? That's very possible, right? It is very possible to see that exact same setup. Maybe if we break this little uptrend that we've been on, rejection, and maybe another rejection here today. So definitely watching AMD off 63. Is there another downside play? Can I play this rejection again? Let's watch that. And on the flip side, right, does that sort of affect Nvidia to the downside as well? Or do we see Nvidia outperform? I'm just going to sort of monitor these two chip names today and the rest of the week to see how they continue. All right. So AMD, I'm sort of liking that 63 rejection again. I would watch it. All right. So Costco had a downgrade this morning. Costco cut to market perform at Wells Fargo. Cut Costco price target to 490 from 600. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a price target cut, downgrade from Wells Fargo. Obviously, you're seeing a little bit of downside in the pre-market, maybe a little bit of irrational downside. You never know. But that is what you're seeing this morning. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there's actually a pretty clean technical setup here. That's the only reason I bring it up. Now, what you can see here, this is the hourly chart, right? And you can see we had a rejection at 490, a rejection at 490, right? And now, if I zoom into the recent trend, look at what Costco did both Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, you broke 490, you pushed back into it in the pre-market and rejected it on Thursday, right here. Now on Friday, you opened up at 490 again, and you rejected it on Friday, 490. So now, that is, if we zoom out, you can see we are stuck back underneath the 490 rejection point. Rejection here, and we rejected it on Thursday and Friday last week. If we see more downside due to this downgrade, right, I would be looking for Costco to trade into the channel low, 463. It could very well see that continuation. You could sort of watch these previous lows, previous highs around here, 475. I'll sort of monitor that. You guys can see these previous lows that turned into rejections here. Right here, you have all these lows here, rejection here, rejection here. So I'll keep an eye on that 475 level, just in case if I am in puts. But more important, I want to see us break. I want to see us break 476.50. That's Friday's lows. If we break Friday's lows, I'd look for continuation to the downside. Sort of trusting this channel, trusting what I see here on the 4-hour, right? Trusting that this is a rejection point at 490. And then if we break Friday's lows, I would look for this move into 463. All right, so that's what I'm watching on Costco. Meta. So Meta upgrade this morning. You guys can see Meta upgrade from, I don't even know what that company is. ITA BBA, price target of 102. You're getting a little bit of upside continuation. Is this new news, Coinbase? Or did that come out? I think that was. I think that was why Apple was sort of weak this morning, right? Apple sort of trim iPhone output. But yeah, we'll get to that. So Meta, a little bit of upside this morning off of an upgrade. If we go to the 4-hour, actually, you know what? Let's go 30-minute. Here we go. 30-minute chart. Here's a pretty defined downtrend that Meta has been in for a pretty long time. What is this? This is almost a week, almost 2 weeks, all right? We start the downtrend here. We come back down. We found support. We reject the highs, find support, reject the highs, and we sort of trade in between it. Now, today, you can see a little bit of a squeeze, right? A little bit of a squeeze above this 90 level, right? Boom, a little bit of a squeeze. So, is this fake, right? Can we short this thing back down into the channel? Maybe. Or does this cause some short sellers to jump out? Does it cause maybe some type of short-term squeeze to the upside? That's what I would watch today. Maybe watch this 95. That's my first level to watch, 95. Right? That's your first little rejection point here. If you get through 95, then I would watch these previous lows around this 97.50 to see that. But overall, right, you can see a little bit of downside. A little bit of downside in this channel has sort of been weak. You're getting a little bit of a pop out of it, right, because of some of the upgrades this morning. And let's watch either 95. Let's watch 97.50. Let's see where this does. If it gets through that and really gets going, then maybe who knows. But I'm going to watch those two levels to see how it performs today. Let's see if this little squeeze outside of the channel is actually legitimate. All right. Snow. So Snow, if we go to the weekly chart, I actually have an alert here. I'll show you guys why. Snow weekly chart. Look at that weekly chart, guys. Really strong weekly bear flag breakdown back on last week. Look at that candle back on Wednesday. You broke it. You sort of flushed under that bear flag on Snow. If I go to the hourly chart and get a little bit more time here. I'm going to have to go 4-hour, actually. Let me go 4-hour. There we go. All right, 4-hour chart. So we got the bear flag break, right? You guys can see it right here. We broke it, and we sort of flushed underneath it. That's that, right? We saw that. Now, this previous low right here, this is the low of this candle is 132.99. I'm sorry, 129.25. So right around that 129 level. So I'm going to be watching. If Snow breaks 129, I think you come back down to these lows at 110. Right? If you break if this works, for some reason it's not, if you break 129, which is the previous low right here, I would look for the move to 110. So I'm going to be watching that today. You can see 129 held as support on Friday, right here. 129.25, 129.35. That's these lows here from Friday. That's also the exact low from back there on the 4-hour chart. So I have an alert there. So if I see Snow start to slip under that, I don't think there's going to be much support on this thing. For more downside continuation, possibly back down into these lows here around 110. So I'm keeping an eye on Snow there, watching it to break Friday's lows. That's another setup that I'm going to be watching. Finally, one that I'll be watching, which I probably will be a little hesitant to trade because I don't love trading this stock, but I do find it to have a nice little setup here, is Coinbase. Coinbase, you guys can see, we've had a pretty distinct channel for almost 3 months, right? We've had rejections around 75, and we've had support come in around 61. So we've had this very distinct channel here. Now, on earnings last week, we broke the channel low, and we are now turning the channel low. Look at this. Look how clean this is. We are now turning the channel low into a rejection point. This 61.30, 62 area, this is your previous channel low support. And you can see from Thursday and from Friday, look at the rejections that are coming in. So what is this telling me? This is telling me that Coinbase is turning a previous channel low for almost 3 months into a rejection point. So if I can see that continue to reject, I would assume that this tries to move lower. I'm going to go back to the 4-hour chart, right? And you can see if we turn that channel low into a rejection point, I would look for this to continue lower, possibly back into that 45 area. Maybe 45, maybe you come down to like this 52. But I'm definitely watching to see if this is actually longer than I expected. This is all the way back from, what is this? This is all the way back from August, right? August, look at this channel low from August, around 61, 62. And look at what it's turning it into today. Very clean. Rejection. All right? So watch that. Watch that. I'm going to go to Apple. So a little bit of Apple weakness this morning, right? You guys can see here in the pre-market, a little bit of a drop and continuation to the downside on Apple. They're sort of cutting their iPhone production rates. I guess people are sort of getting concerned about that. Let me show you what's happening here this morning on Apple. Actually, some pretty clean technicals here. So you guys can see, if I get a little bit more time on Apple, let me zoom out. Here we go. So you guys can see here from the beginning of October, right? Look at this. You see this level here? Beginning of October, 138. Support, blah, 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 blah. Yep, 138. That's all there, right? 138 support. So we know that. Boom, 138. We come back down to it. We hold it one time, right? We hold it here. Boom, 138. We hold it. We break under it. Now, what happens after you break a rejection or break a previous support? What do you look for? You look for the rejection. Look at what's happening here from Friday. Where did Friday push, reject? 138. Perfect. So, if Apple stays under 138 and Apple stays under the previous support at 138, would you assume that the weakness continues? I probably would, right? 138, you're turning it into a rejection point. If we stay under 138, I would assume weakness continues, and I would watch 133 here. All right? So 138 is the level to watch on Apple, in my opinion, of course. All right? What else did I want to go over here today? Let's see here. I went over Apple. Okay, I wanted to sort of go over Boeing. I just want to quickly show you guys BA. BA has been very strong here since its Investors Day. BA had Investors Day, I believe this was back on the when is this? Yeah, I think was it on the 2nd of November? One of these days, 2nd or 3rd. BA had Investors Day, and they came out and said that they're planning to have a very positive free cash flow. And this is like the one thing that people have been concerned about Boeing since COVID hit, was their cash flow. It's been negative, and they finally said they expect to have some pretty positive free cash flow, which is very big, right? They said they expect to generate a free cash flow of $3 to $5 billion in 2023. So that is very positive for Boeing, right? That's a big, sort of weight off their shoulders to have free cash flow. And I think the market is definitely respecting that, right? I think it's definitely respecting that. You can see the upside on BA. I'm actually going to start probably nibbling on BA shares in my long-term portfolio, to be quite honest, at these levels, around 160. I like that I like what they're saying about free cash flow, because that really was what BA needed. So I'm not opposed to starting to nibble down here on BA for potential upside, longer term. I'm going to watch it. All right. I like that. And the one thing I would watch here, if you're trading it short term, I'm probably not going to trade it short term. I'm more interested in long term on Boeing. I would watch 160. All right. 160. See if it can hold 160. That's this previous rejection point. If it can turn it into support, watch for that push back into 170s. All right. But yeah, Boeing, pay attention to what they're talking about, guys. Remember, Boeing is pretty much a monopoly. I mean, it's not a monopoly because you got Airbus, you got Embraer, you got a few other airline producers, but Boeing is, I think, the only American airline producer. It's Boeing, right? Boeing's not going to be able to go anywhere. Boeing's like the one company that the United States is dependent on. Think about the world with no Boeing. I mean, it would be bad. So I'm assuming Boeing makes it out of this, right? I'm assuming Boeing is going to prosper long term. And if you're starting to get that sort of flip in free cash flow, like they're talking about on their Investors Day, I think that's a possible opportunity in my head. So that is, I'm just sort of giving you some insight into what is in my head on Boeing. All right. All right, let's go over some of the stocks you guys want to look at. We got Google, Cat, Shop, Crocs, Starbucks, Lulu, CMG, DocuSign, Walmart, Datadog. Yeah, I only fly Airbus 2 random. I mean, I like JetBlue a lot. Right, I fly Airbus mostly, but still, it doesn't make a difference, right? I'm not gonna. That's not really right. It's still the fact that Boeing is Boeing, and Boeing is the only one of the only airline manufacturers is something we can't ignore. So Google's holding that 85. It has to hold 85, and it held it pretty nicely on Friday. Just watch Google to continue to hold 85, and just watch these previous rejection points. Right, it's pretty clear here on Google. First one, 87.50. Next one, 89. 87.50, 89. Watch that on Google. Caterpillar's been hot, guys. Cat's been really hot. I like this sort of push that I'm seeing on Cat. It is a little bit, it's getting a little bit, close to like this. It's sort of not really a channel, is it? It's more just like a triple top here. Watch out for this 230 area. Watch out for this 230 on Cat. Cat's pretty much at all-time highs, but Cat could be an outperformer. So watch Cat 230. Watch that rejection point. But yeah, Cat's been an outperformer along with the Dow names. Shopify. I have Shopify. I'm watching this. I'm watching this 32.50 today. 32.50 right here. Seeing if that turns into support. If Shopify does not turn 32.50 into support, I would look for it back down to 30. If it does, maybe it trades in this channel. Crocs. You are getting a little breakout here on Crocs of this 84 level. Look at that. So, yeah, I don't know. Watch out for this little break on Crocs here of 84. Did they report earnings? Yeah, they had positive earnings and have continued very strong. So, wow. Crocs. Watch that 84 break. There might actually be a little bit of a opportunity in the short term off that. I'm not afraid to say that. Look at this channel. Look at this high that just was broken on Friday with some pretty nice volume. See if it can turn it into support. If Crocs can break this, turn this into a newfound support, right? You could get a little bit of upside off that. So look for that 84 to turn into support on Crocs. Starbucks had earnings gapped up. We'll see if there's a gap fill, right? Be careful when you have a gap up on a stock on earnings. You guys can see it rejected this 94 level pretty aggressively, and you've created a pretty major daily chart gap. So just be aware of that. You did have a nice upside move on Starbucks earnings. It did reject that 94 pretty aggressively. So watch out for 94 or look for it to potentially fill this earnings gap up. Lulu sort of stuck, man. I mean, it's just doing nothing here. I would say just look past Lulu, doing absolutely nothing. Careful on that one. CMG actually back into a pretty nice support area, so watch out for this here. This is a previous rejection. What else did you do on CMG here? You did a gap fill, right? Look at that gap fill on CMG, right at 1375. So if I zoom in here on the daily chart, look what you did here. You see this gap from the previous earnings? You sort of filled that gap. I mean, you could say it could move down back to like 13.25, but if it does hold this support here, right, you filled this gap, look out for it to hold there. Watch out for that 13.75. See if there's any support that steps up. DocuSign's just bad, guys. DocuSign is one of those stocks, just slipping and sliding. It's crazy to see. But yeah, look at that trend. Ouch. I mean, I would look for nothing but downside here. Walmart. Yeah, Walmart's sort of in that gap. Watch out for that. You do have earnings coming up though, guys, so I would be careful. Earnings are on the 15th, so next week. So just watch out for that. Watch out for this 146 rejection point. But Walmart earnings next week. You know what? I did want to look at Target again today. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I like this Target retest. We talked about this on last week on the live stream. I'm definitely I need to watch this. This little Target retest is pretty nice looking, right? Look at this previous rejection into support. Target might try to find something out of that. So I'm going to watch that on Target. And then last one I got for you guys here is Datadog. Really ugly downside on Datadog. Seems pretty systematic. Look at this sort of just continuation to the downside. I would look for a rejection of the previous lows. That's what I would look for. I would look for a rejection right here. It already came in, right? It already came in on Friday, so you might have missed it. 75, rejection of the previous lows. Look at what it did here on Friday. Wow. That's really clean. 75.50. Look at that Friday open at 75.50. Absolutely murdered off 75.50, which was the perfect previous low rejection. Look at this. Previous low, right? 75.50. Friday, you push into it, you reject it. Beautiful short. You might have missed it at this point, but I would just continue to look for previous lows to turn into rejection points. When a stock is in a downtrend, right? When a stock is in a downtrend, a very strong downtrend, look for it to break previous lows, come back into that previous low, and turn it into a rejection. Stair-stepping to the downside. So if you see a stock like Datadog that broke down off the previous low, look for it to come back up, get you better risk to reward, look for it to reject the previous low, right? Break and retest to the downside, and look to continue to play that trend. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, I would really appreciate if you could press that like button before you head out. Let's see if we can get 500 likes. I want to try to make that. Is that a new staple for the stream? 500 likes, right? Let's try to get 500. That would be, I think that's very possible, right? There's 1,200 of you here, and we have like 300 likes, so we only need 200 people. If you guys could press the like button, that'd be great. I'd very much appreciate that. I hope you did enjoy the stream. If you want to trade live with us every day, it's down below. It says trade live with me. Every single day, live trading in the morning. Market psychology talks, going through the market, intraday analysis. So if you guys want to check that out, it's down below. Thank you guys once again. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I do this every single day starting at 8 a.m. All right, guys. Have a great day. Good luck. Remember, it's Monday. Don't go crazy. Let's get a feel for the market. And, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.